Folks, hello and welcome to the Talking Crit live stream. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and with me every Wednesday night, none other than Bad Mike himself, Michael Battleato.
And you know what, Eric? I can count to 1,000, and
I can count to 1,001.
I just counted to over 1,000 because that's how many subscribers we have this week. So, congratulations to everybody for helping us out there. And true to our word, this is going to be a special show because we're going to give away some goodies.
Yes,
some goodies.
We are going to give away.
Appreciation to you guys. We appreciate you.
In no particular order over the next 2 hours or so. Probably not going to start the giveaways for at least another half an hour so people can get in. But a $250 gift certificate to drive through, two $100 gift certificates to drive through, $150, $125. To somebody in the confines of the U.S., it's a really cool storage box that you can use for your dice or your minis. It'll include a set of dice. And where is it? Somebody else within the confines of the U.S. will get these kind of sort of glow-in-the-dark lab dice from Chessex. So
I'll tell you what. How about if I'll sweeten the pot even a little more, and I'll give away a nice little Frog God Games package here of a bunch of hardbacks. Continental U.S., like you said, only. Unfortunately, we can't. Too expensive to ship over there. But I'll dig something up while you're talking, and I'll put together a little.
Can go anywhere, right? So that's awesome. That's cool.
That's the whole point.
All you need to do is comment. All right.
Yes.
One
comment.
Get the comment.
Say hello.
You have
hello,
to
folks.
You have to respond when we tell you, "Hey, you've been gifted." Don't just expect us to track you down later because if we can't find you, we can't acknowledge you. If we can't tell you how to claim your gift, either goes back in the pot or it gets gifted later on down the line.
Sure.
So don't let it just go away. So yes, we shot up to 1,000 and 1,001. And if you're listening and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We do have
we love it.
For after we monetize, our application is in. The monetization will go to help the community in one form or more. But we have some things that
we're rich. We're rich, right? We're rich. Well, no, we're not.
No. Thank God I got a great pension from the NYPD.
Crap.
Otherwise, it would suck. All right. So now,
we have to split all that extra money. We have to split it between me and Glenn and Joe the lawyer and your wife. I mean, so that's like what everybody gets. Extra
pennies on the pennies.
An extra penny.
You get a quarter, and you get a quarter.
I don't like the way this is turning out, but it makes sense. It does make sense. Oh, there's Jen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Devilette. Happy birthday, Jen Glazer, the better Glazer, to you.
How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you?
She's 20. She's 25.
All right.
I think they've been married since she was 15.
Every time I see you ducking down, it's because I'm adding to the giveaway sheet.
Well, I'm grabbing stuff too. Look, I just grabbed a Cults of Sutter Kingdoms for Swords and Wizardry. I'm looking for anything. That's why I wasn't even going to cheat. I'm just going to grab whatever was laying around here. There's got to be some more Swords and Wizardry laying around here. I mean, I've got it just coming out of my eyeballs. There's got to be a bunch more here somewhere.
Eyeballs.
There's got to be some coming out of my. I'll throw in some goodies. So we'll have a Swords and Wizardry packet. We'll have all your extra stuff too. I could put together a pretty good 5e packet, but I really want to do Swords and Wizardry instead of 5e. So let me look for Swords and Wizardry stuff here. Yes, and I mean, look, this is really cool because we're going to take a little time to talk about some stuff here. And one of the things we're going to talk about is last year, because this all goes back to 20. Well, actually, it goes farther back than that. But we'll start at 2020 there's Mr. Gould there. We're going to have a bunch of celebrities on tonight, let me tell you. So Eric and I, we've known each other for a long time. First time he came to the cons, first time I met him in person, and I knew him because his blog. He had this little blog where he talked about being a cop. I think it was pretty cool. Then he had another blog where he talked about games, and that's back when blogs were really big. So I kind of knew him, and he and his wife came to the con and had a great time, which he's told this story a bazillion times, and it just kind of we kind of had a mutual admiration society going on, so we kept in touch all these years, and we would always talk. So we were both kind of working, helping Frog got out at conventions. We go to conventions, we'd work the booth. We always talk a lot. You know what? We need to have a talk show sometime, and we could just, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drink during the show.
Yes.
We're going to drink booze. And then we're going to, by the way,
not
what's
real
for
booze.
reserve? What for
This
reserve?
is diet ginger beer, but it's fucking good. I drank my booze over today.
Real whiskey. And we're going to cuss a lot, and we're going to have unfiltered opinions, and it's going to be, and we're just not going to do like other shows do. We're just going to go wander all over the place. It's going to be a hex crawl. We're just going to wander from subject to subject. And so we're like, yeah, let's do this. So we talked about it for years. Years.
Yes.
We talked about doing this. And then last year, Eric tried to kill himself. He tried to die.
I didn't want to try to die.
No.
And I made and here's the thing, I made my saves like nat 20s, man.
Yep.
Spot on.
He did.
Holy shit.
He said. So after that, we were sitting there last summer after he had survived his many attempts at murdering himself, and we said, you know what? Why do we keep putting this thing off? Let's just. And we had done a couple like one-off shows. We'd get on there.
It was kind of like, maybe we'll do one this week.
Yeah. We just would jump on and have a fun time, whatever. But we never really did it seriously. We just kept saying, yeah, we're going to do this. And so we finally said after that, we're like, you know what? Let's do it now, because it's not like we're young men. We're not. We're not young at all. And we're not in the best health, and we're like, why do we keep putting this off? Let's just do this, and we'll just open for business one day and just start talking. So it was like a Wednesday. I don't remember what it was, like August or something, September. We said, okay, this is the first one. And we got on there and we just did it. We did a show, and that was okay. And then we just kept it. And then we just kept going. And the great thing was it just kept going and going and going. We had a few guests at first, but we didn't really have a lot of guests. And we started having more guests, and we got where people asked us to be a guest, which is kind of cool. That means that, that was nice. And then we said, hey, let's do people that have Kickstarters. And then we did a few people who did that. And hey, their Kickstarters did real well. And so, I don't think we've missed a Wednesday now since. Well, I know when I went to South Podge with my wife, we didn't miss one of those weeks.
I think since we started doing regular, since I was hospitalized in August, I don't think we've missed a Wednesday.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, we've been pretty good.
So it's almost been a year. Well, it's been a year. So it's been over a year. We didn't miss a show. That's awesome. And then, at first we'd have like 25 subscribers. Like, whatever. We don't really care, right? We didn't care. And then we had like, we get up a little bit like, let's get 100. Oh my God, we have 100. So we got 100. We're all excited. Like, wow, this is so awesome. And then we thought, if we get 500, we're going to give away $500, which is pretty good. Because that seemed like it was way off. Well, it wasn't that long ago. All of a sudden, we hit 500 like about June or May.
June, yes. Right after North Texas.
Yeah. And then thanks to Lanasa and his friends, we got a big boost, about 200 people at that point, because we were doing some shows. Everybody was really wanting to know what was going on with that. So, yeah, we're just trundling along. So we've got another 500 people just since the end of May, beginning of June, which is
Professor
crazy.
Dungeon Master giving us a shout out, gave us another like 150, 200.
We've had a few shout outs.
It was great, and I do appreciate it. And it's been awesome, the reception we've gotten. Again, we are not a high-end YouTube stream.
No. We're like he says, we're the cable channel that they forgot about, and they turn on every once in a while and go, these guys still have a cable channel? We thought we shut up. We told them not to use this bandwidth anymore. And they turn it on, and we're sitting there with like fold-up chairs and a beat-up guitar or something. They're like, oh, yeah, I forgot we okayed these guys.
John,
that's us.
Thank you, John. I'd rather watch Tenkar's Tavern and slick, overproduced shite any day. And that makes us feel very good. Yes. Because, listen, this is honest. This is, there's no show to this show. This is us, see the red pants, I'm saying no prep, so no script.
No.
Okay. Even with our guests, we give them free reign. Nobody has
Oh
a
yeah.
mute button. You know.
No. We've only had to shut
So
off idiots that post idiot stuff. That's only happened a couple times
yeah,
because we don't have. Well, we know a lot of idiots. We do know some, but
we
so
know some. You
some
gotta
are
know
employed
some.
by game companies professionally for Frog God Games. um, but yeah, it's just so cool. And so here we are, a year later, and we're like, dang, that was pretty awesome. We got 1,000 people. I mean, the great thing is we're not going to make any money off this. We never make any money. I've never held Eric up like, look, I'm a big star because I help run North Texas. So really, if you want to keep me going, you're going to have to start throwing me some
Send
cash
me
here.
some booze, man.
Yeah.
Send
I
me
mean,
some
Joe the lawyer
booze,
didn't
yo.
call you up and say, hey man, if you want me to stay on your show, you're going to have to. I mean,
Yeah.
has Glenn ever asked you for cash?
Oh
No.
God,
This
no.
is a absolute altruistic endeavor that we just love talking about games and RPGs, and
Ray
that's
should ask me for cash, but nothing to do with the show, and he happens to be married.
but
So
say that's the
I think
one.
it kind of goes
Yeah,
goes with the territory, and I probably asked her for cash when
yeah.
necessary. So I mean,
Rach has
but
held you up. She's held you up for cash before.
yeah, shit
But other
happens.
than, so this is just a labor of love, and we don't, a lot of these shows they have high production values, and they need the cash to help get new
Right.
microphones and headphones. They don't just go down to Home Depot or Office Depot and get this for $50 or whatever.
I actually spend a little money, but I spend the money that comes in usually.
Whoa!
I get
Hello, Mr.
I do
Fancy.
happen to raise funds via Drive-Through RPG
Okay, all right.
and Humble Bundle, so that money is what goes for the prizes, and it goes to some of the equipment. And I'm in the debt of the community for such.
Mr. Fancy here.
Fanfish man, see, look, no headphones, folks, and no feedback. Holy crap! Don't get so excited; it might not last. But
well, yeah. So this is just to see your pants, have a good time. We curse, we throw stuff out there. We don't really care about making friends or making people happy. Like right now, you'll notice Eric's going in and out. His head's disappearing. I mean, that's the kind of quality
I'm writing down. I'm writing down names as people comment. So you're gonna see me.
That's how low. I'm in an old warehouse. Broadcasting. I got. I mean, he's in his house. This is just. This is like
There's no professional studio here.
Yeah,
no, we don't.
We don't have somebody answering calls going on line 4. You've got John Miller. John Miller wants to talk about paladins where they kill orc babies. No, we don't have anybody in here telling us. No, we don't have any of that. We're just, just exactly what you see is just us hanging out and just chilling. And we love North Texas RPG Con. We love Swords and Wizardry Light. We love, we love the same things you guys love. And we like hanging out and just talking to you guys. That's what we like.
And folks, we're not beholden to anybody. I mean, listen. Am I going to go out of my way to thrash Frog Eye Games? Probably not. But I'm not going to. But if they did something fucking stupid, you'd still hear about it because that's kind of the guy I am.
We've got to fill up those this week in stupid. So I mean, if the stupid comes from Frog God, we got to throw it. I mean, I'm surprised we don't have more stupid from Zach and Skeeter, but they've been laying low a little bit lately, so we haven't had a lot of stupid from Zach and Skeeter. But if they throw some stupid out there, we'd be all over it. We don't care about friendship; doesn't matter. It's all about the truth, baby.
Right. And John, by the way, we haven't had much of a problem with the live chats, but I do get the bots hitting the comments after the fact with the regular non-live episodes. They go up, and I've got bots that do the pornography links, and I got to go in and go, oh, geez, ban and report.
Yep.
But I mean, yes, is that a sign success? I've got bots on the blog side. I've been doing that shit for years.
Yes, we dig up the dirt. We actually have to read a lot of stuff that just because we're always looking for, I never was that connected to the RPG industry as I am now because I'm always looking for fun stories now. So I'm finding the stuff I never knew about. There's a whole side to RPGs that was on EN World, which I don't care about, that I just have to look up stuff now. Or we have to go, and we have people send us links all the time now, which is great. They'll say like, hey man, this is really stupid. I know you do this week. It's stupid. Here, do this link. And so, we don't even have to. It's just great. We just sit here and we let the We let the game come to us. We don't go to the game. We let the game come to us, and it's it's perfect.
Mike,
But Bad Mike Killer.
would you kill orc babies for a bottle of bourbon?
What kind of bourbon are we talking? Yeah, probably. But because they're just gonna grow up to be mean orcs, and so I don't know though. Orc babies are kind of cute, little piggies, look so cute. So I don't know. They might bite your finger though. So yeah. Looking for ShireCon. Let's don't. Tom Wilson's got a little ShireCon coming up. Is that next week or is that
It's
week
this
after?
Saturday.
Oh my gosh!
Saturday.
It's this week. This
Yeah.
week it's already here. Well, so we like to plug our friends. So yes, ShireCon. Tom Wilson's got a lot of gift stuff. I gave him a whole bunch of Frog God North Texas stuff to give away. So yeah, it's gonna be. And Eric's gonna be there. Joe the Lawyer gonna be there.
I don't know if Joe was supposed to be, but there's a lot of people that are on the fence. Listen, it's a social gathering. I understand it. I do know that Rach and I will arrive Friday afternoon, go to a bed and breakfast, check in, and I believe there's going to be some pre-Saturday gaming on Friday night. We'll probably just hang out. Because I will be driving to and from the bed and breakfast and all that stuff. I am going to be alcohol free this weekend. I can't believe I'm saying this shit. However, I will be traveling with about a 12-pack of diet ginger beer and a bunch of hot tea and coolers. So if you're looking for a non-alcoholic beverage to tide you over that might have a little bit of the alcoholic zing without the booze, I might be able to help you out.
David, you live on the wrong side of the pond. That's why it's 5,000 miles away. And Joe just confirmed he doesn't think he's going to be there, unfortunately. So Eric and other local celebs. I think Jeff Talanian coming.
Jeff should be going. Yeah. Let's see, Joe Block.
Oh, Joe. Yeah, Joe Block will be there. Yeah, Joe will be there. So it's going to be fun. So if you're in that area, the New England area, definitely check that out. Because you know what? As Pocket Jacks says there, Lone Star Game Expo, which is a small convention that was very close to me that I was going to work a table at, about 500 people. They've had to cancel this week, and we'll talk about that a little later too. Some of these small cons, you got to appreciate them because the big cons are having a lot of issues right now with COVID. And look, it's just an exponential fact. When you have 50 people in a room, you have X chance to possibly get sick. If you have 5,000 people in a room, X goes to X, 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 X. So, small cons are great little ways to hang out and not have to worry so much about your safety because everybody can wear a mask. You can control a smaller con more than you can a bigger con. So,
right.
But even smaller cons can be canceled, like as we saw with Texas Lone Star Game Expo. But yeah, that's what's great about ShireCon. I think Tom said there's about 100 something people there. I mean, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be too bad.
It's maxed at 100. That's I think it usually. I don't know if I'm wrong. Tom can come along and whack me on Saturday. I believe it usually hits around 80 or 90. I believe the venue max is somewhere around 100.
I think he said he had 100 this year. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
I don't know what the numbers are. I know that I'm running a game in the afternoon. I plan on showing up though in time for the morning game, and what Rach and I will probably do is just jump into a game that needs players because
Good deal.
I'm sure there will be a game or two that needs players.
Oh yeah, are you staying here? You staying on site, or is there a hotel? There's not a hotel, right? It's just
there's not a hotel. So we got a bed and breakfast a few miles away.
It's fancy. Once again, fancy, kind of fancy there, but
Yeah, well, listen, this is going to be. I don't want to say like another mini moon for Rich and I, but this is bed and breakfast is kind of fancy, so I think we can have a lot of fun doing that. So.
And there's Mr. Gillespie. By the way, most of those people we got on here that are kind of what we would call celebrities have guested on our show this year, and of course, everybody knows that Joe helps.
Joe, don't worry about canceling your slot. On the off chance you decide to get up and go, keep it. And if you're not there, believe me, we'll just slide somebody in. I don't turn people away from the table.
No,
you know that. Because it was an issue a couple of years ago by somebody who had nobody at his table. Oh, yes.
Never good.
No.
So Yeah, Joe's here. So we're going to be saying hi to everybody, and your name goes in the hopper for all the prizes. We're going to give away a lot of prizes. We like to make more than just one
We like
person,
to
two people
do it,
happy.
do it.
Yeah. So we're going to make people happy. We were going to have a special guest this week, and then we were so close to 1,000 subscribers, we thought we'd just let it ride and see what happens. Sure enough, we hit 1,000. But we had so much news this week. Some weeks are like that. Sometimes we go 2 or 3 weeks, nothing's going on. Watsy hasn't said anything stupid. Nobody's done anything. And then you have the cornucopia
Of this week.
of this week
And
when it's
by
just
the
like
way,
one after another, one
and
story
this
after another.
is, by the way, just so you all know, no TSR3, no Wonderfilled.
It's shocking. Yes.
It is, and it's still like, oh my god, oh,
Yeah.
what is the
Unbelievable.
phrase? Oh my gooshness, from some woman
Yeah,
who's trying to
it's
tell my wife Israeli sand to wash her face.
we've got we've got everything. And then we just had something break last night today that was delicious that we're going to have to talk about also. But we had stuff all week long that just kind of kept popping up. And so, yes, Mr. Sharp, you get in a raffle. That's why Eric's head disappears periodically. See how he disappears right then? Because he's writing down, he's having to write this down. We should have got a secretary for tonight. That was a mistake.
But,
that was a mistake.
I'd have to pay you right then. So in any case, you see this sheet? It's filling up. It's filling up.
Oh boy!
At the top of the hour, we'll start doing our little gifting.
We'll start picking stuff.
Because if we do it now, the odds are just too great that somebody's going to win a prize. We got to make sure.
We'll wait at least an hour, 30 more minutes, and then we'll start picking. But hopefully, not like last time when Zach and his wife won all the prizes, but they gave them away to other people, so it was okay.
Yeah,
they won the prizes, but they did donate them back. But so. Hopefully Zach and his wife won't win again, but you never know. They know how to cheat even long distance. I don't know how they do it, but they can probably cheat. So,
Triceratops, you're actually in. So, folks, those of you that a little bit late weren't here when we started today, here's the deal: you comment, you're in. However, you got to be listening when we say, "Hey, the next random gift receiver is." Butt munch, and when butt munch does not respond in a suitable amount of time,
or run and roll over. Yeah, we can't. Because we're not going to bother hunting you down. It's too hard to hunt you down. It's
and
really too hard. So.
And once we have you, we'll tell you. All right. Oh, so butt munch answered. Okay, I'll say email me at wherever, and we'll get it out to you. All right, so it's a fairly easy.
If your butt munch, oh my god, the first ones are terrible. If your butt munch, just know that you need to stay with us the whole 2 hours. But we promise you, this is going to be extremely entertaining. This is going to be like one of those YouTube shows where they have what do they call them, a cash hour? Or what do they call when you can pledge money and. I mean, we're going to have stuff coming at you because there's just all kinds of cool stuff that's happened the last week or so. That's just amazing. And like Eric said, it's not even Watsy or Wonderfilled. Well, actually, part of it is Watsy. It is Watsy.
It is Watsy. It's not TSR. They're not TSR.
No, it's not TSR or Wonderfilled or Giant Lands. They took the week off. Giant Lands and Wonderfilled all those guys took the week off.
Yeah.
And we're back to our buddies at Watsy and some of the bigger companies.
And more. So Mike, where do we want to start?
Let's start with Watsy and what we talked about last week when I was holding up the sign that said virtue signaling on it. We were laughing because, look, virtue signaling is it's a term a lot of people don't like. It's kind of like southern. It's kind of like social justice warrior. People don't like it and they get really mad when you use those terms. But there can be a point. There's a purpose for terms like that because there are people that social justice warrior and there are people that virtue signal, and so we ran across this and it was just, we were flabbergasted because it's so I have relatives that are in the military and there's a saying in the military that if a guy has to tell you how many medals he has, he probably didn't do too much to earn those medals.
Right. And
the point is that when you have to stop and explain why you're a kick-ass, you might not be that kick-ass. You're kind of whistling past the graveyard. You might be just trying to burnish your own cred at that point.
Right. Your deeds should speak louder than words, and you should not have to burnish your own image. Your deeds should speak for it. Listen, I have certain individuals who have accused me of virtue signaling by making the tavern politically neutral in how we cover stuff.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that was that
because
this week
I
too. That was this week too, wasn't it?
no, that was like last week.
Oh,
In
that was
any
last
case,
week. Okay.
but you know what? In any case, yes, apparently that is virtue signaling by, according to one of the extremes, by declaring the tavern a neutral ground, making a political statement that is virtue signaling. I I, I
Mhm.
guess it's kind of like those damned if you do. No matter what you say, apparently you are going to be labeled the same thing. So
Right.
whatever. However, um, I would love for companies to be more inclusive. I would love for companies to be more diverse. But if you have to go out and make that your advertisement is that look, you should play our games because diversity and inclusion. This is what diversity and inclusion mean at Wizards. You're not doing it because it's the right thing to do. You're doing it because you believe it's going to make money for your pocket.
And if you issue an entire press release where it doesn't, that's all it talks about. It doesn't talk about what games you have coming out, what great artists you have working for you, stuff like that. When it all it does is say, hey, we're we're diverse and inclusive, and we're gonna tell you exactly how much diverse and how much inclusive we are. Then I get a little suspicious because that makes me think that wait a second, is this the same company that let go of a female head of content and that had a POC write a really long, scathing um, blog post about
Oh
how
yeah.
he was a token and this and that. And so, yeah, so we ran across this week, and this is the most self-serving gobbledygook ever. And basically, it's just a giant advertisement. I'm sure this probably look. This is the kind of thing you hand out at something like Gen Con to people that walk up to your booth and they look at it and they toss over their shoulder. But it's just this giant pat ourselves on the back, and it strikes me as very much of one of those we're gonna tell you, but we're not gonna show you, and that's what drives me crazy is don't tell me, show me. Don't tell me you're gonna do it, just do it. And then when I see a picture of all the WotC employees, I'll say, "Oh, okay. Well, that's diverse and inclusive." Don't tell me you're going to do it. Just do it.
And by the way, talking about pictures of the WotC employees, this Photoshop picture toward the middle of this page is so fucking horrible. I don't do Photoshop. I have no skills for it. Whoever did this has no skills for it. All right, this was.
And let me bring up, Matt says something. Big publishers do it to mostly cover their backs. Let me explain something, and we're going to cover this later on the show. Is that when you do shit like this, it tends to bite you on the ass. Because the next time a POC leaves WotC in a huff and posts a long blog spot, everybody's going to laugh at this shit and say, wait a second, I thought you were diverse and inclusive. But here's somebody over here that just left your company that said, you had them emptying trash cans instead of doing content. That's what the danger of this garbage is that it will bite you on the ass. And we will have more about biting on the ass later because somebody got really bit on the ass the last 24 hours.
Oh.
I mean, their ass has tooth marks all over it. But yeah, this kind of thing is just the more I read it, the more insulted I got because it was the biggest exercise in back padding I've ever seen for somebody who, I don't know. Is WotC diverse and inclusive? I have no idea. And Eric and I talked last time this happened. I think was it Sirius Black was the guy who was the guy? Was it Sirius? What was the guy's name who
Like
left?
that,
right? And dang it, I had it marked here and I took it off. But these guys that work there and that have said they're only inclusive in name only, and they don't actually give POC. Look, I'll tell you. So I can't name this guy.
Ryan Black.
Ryan Black. I'm sorry, I thought it was Sirius Black. That was close. It was a star system.
Yeah.
I know a guy, super nice guy. I'm gonna blur the details. He was in Texas. He is a POC, super nice guy, was hired by WotC to head up one of their departments. He and his wife moved to Washington, and he headed up the department, and he quit a year later. And I'm like, he moved all the way to Washington to quit. His complaints were pretty much exactly what Orion Black is, that they hired him because he was a POC, and like I said, super nice guy, is probably going to go really far in the industry eventually. But he was very much hired and very much given. Once he got hired, he was kind of, yeah, you can go over here. We just hired you so we can put your name here. And I think I blurred his. I don't think you understand, or I don't think you can figure out who it is. Which
No,
I don't want to get him in trouble. But yes, he was very much just hired to be a diversity hire. And once he got hired, he was not things that were promised to him, let's just say, never happened. And so he went on to go work for some other companies. And this is problematic when companies do stuff like this, because as Matt said earlier, these big companies do this to make themselves look. It's like Pride Month. Everybody gets on board Pride Month, and they all come up with this stuff. And then the other 11 months of the year, they don't give a shit if you're LGBTQ. And it's all about Pride Month. They're all about LGBTQ. And then once Pride Month's over, whatever. We don't care. And that's what this whole giant advertisement struck me as, is that we're going to tell you how great we are, but does it have any practical implications? I don't know. Are they going to actually hire more people of color? I don't know. Are they going to actually diversify their product and include more LGBTQ diversification? Do you know, Eric? Because I don't know.
Well, where we are in our journey, Wizards of the Coast take steps every day on our continuous journey to be a more diverse, diverse, equitable, and inclusive company. Diversity is a foundational principle of how we operate and permeates through every aspect of Wizards. Now, sorry, absolutes always fail when you look at them. Right. So, in any case, we have implemented a comprehensive diversity and inclusion strategy that includes employee education and development, talent acquisition, cultivating our employee network, inclusive products, communication, and accountability. It's
blah, 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 word salad.
Blobbity gook until we actually have something that shows results. Yeah. And right now, that's all it is. It's look at me. You should buy from us because look at what we're doing. And I'd rather see the product that shows these abilities, this diversity, than you tell me about it. Show me, don't tell me. And you shouldn't need to tell me what I'm looking at. I should be able to look at it and go, oh, wow, I can see that this is a company that really has a broad spectrum of employees. And I really appreciate that. And I can it shows them work, as opposed to, oh, Mr. Carter, look at me, Mr. Carter. I'm the voice.
Nobody under the age of 50 knows what you're talking about with Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter. Oh, yeah, that's right. They get Nickelodeon has that stuff on there now. So, yeah. But this last year, Eric and I talked about this when we talked about when they were going on about kind of the same subject. And we said, look, instead of doing this, why don't you come out with, how about a game world that actually has POC as the standard? This is your standard person, is a person of color. And like I think we talked about the time we were talking about, why don't they come out with a great campaign built kind of like on an African kingdom where all the adventurers are all people of color. It's ruled by kings. You get to investigate ruins. I mean, wouldn't that be cool? That's actually doing something, saying we're going to come out with a setting that features people of color. And that way we don't have to say we're going to be diverse and inclusive. We've done it. We put our money where our mouth is and said, here's this great, setting that is built around POC. I would buy the hell out of it. One of my favorite books ever, and I don't even play 3E, is the 3E book Niambi, which is a African setting. It's great. It's got great. It's a great setting that's very underused. Don't treat people of color in a setting like that as colonial conquest. Treat them as regular characters, and that would be awesome. That's something that shows that you're diverse and inclusive. not just telling me you're going to be diverse inclusive, or as we've said before, having one line in a product about talking about the barkeeper about his husband, or the paladin that's going to go rescue her wife, and then you never mention them again. They're not really part of the story. They're just thrown in there to say, look, every one of our products has LGBTQ representation. That's not really LGBTQ representation.
Well,
That's pandering.
well, here's the thing, and listen, I'm throwing out a theory here. Does not mean it's right, but I'm going to guess that Wizards has done the basic research as to whether a setting that is POC or a setting that is heavily uh, diverse when it comes to genders probably wouldn't sell as well as their current settings, and therefore it's not profitable. But this costs them nothing, and therefore they're hoping to get the attention without actually putting in the effort. And that's why
Right.
third party publishers are putting out Afrocentric settings
Right.
because they're willing to take that risk. They're willing to make that investment, and Wizards is not.
Pocket Jack's, you make Jack's comments. You make a very good point. I think this is a really good point. I think an all white group would have a feeling like they were engaged in stereotypes, start playing fantasy podcasts. So there's ways to do this correctly, and I'll show you. I'll tell you some examples. Call of Cthulhu has a very well regarded supplement book out called Harlem Unbound, where basically the adventures take place in Harlem. You can also be white characters in there, but you run into an environment that is obviously black environment because it's Harlem in the 1920s. There's ways to do this properly without. And here's the best way to play it. Why wouldn't you just play a black character like you play a white character? You don't have to play a stereotype. You could just play an adventurer. Just play an adventurer. Or if you feel like you're a little nervous about doing something like that, you could still adventure in that world as, let's say, white adventurers, but nothing else changes. Just because you're white adventurers in a world with mostly POC background, that doesn't mean anything has to change. It doesn't mean that you have to act differently. Treat it as normal. Treat it as this is the normal here. And if you do that, I think you run into less problems than if you, like you said, some people might feel squeechy about like, yeah, I don't know if I should play black characters or Asians. Because I'm not that race. Then okay, you can play white characters, but you're in this world where you're the minority now. You're not the
Right.
majority. You are the minority, and you're going to have to interact with this world. I think you can do it. I don't think. I think that's the problem is that they get so scared that they're going to be accused of something racially sensitive by doing this, that's why they don't publish these kinds of settings because they get scared. Or look, bring in an Afrocentric designer. I mean, they're out there. There's people out there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the man who created Cyberpunk. I mean, you have people out there that can do this. And I think it's cowardly to say we're diverse and inclusive, and yet you shy away from stuff like that because you're scared about, oh, we might be seen as racially insensitive if we don't approach this right. Then you know what? Have your whole development team POC, people of color, and say,
Right.
look, you do what you want to do. We're gonna make it so white adventurers or white characters can be in this world without there being any racial problems at all, and you go from there. And I just think you can do it. I think it's harder than making your Gennaro, Tolkien, Middle Earth, medieval, blah 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 setting that we've seen 8 million times. That's easy to
go
do.
the lazy way, and that's just it. Because the lazy way is the easiest way to make a profit, and to do what you're talking about, to do a setting that is going to take persons of color, or take some maybe do a proper, meaning non-anglicized, I don't know, Asian adventures type of source book, or whatever the proper term would be. That requires not just investment of man hours and money, but it requires the proper marketing. And I'm going to tell you right now that bean counters have already decided it is not worth the investment.
That's what it boils down to.
This is easy. This is cheap. Virtue signaling costs no money, and that is why
Mark brings up a good point. Frog God Games put out a setting to Hoyle, which is based on Central America. We had sensitivity readers. Obviously, Tom Canales is not Central American. He's about as New Jersey white boy as they come. But we did have sensitivity readers for that. And we had a professor actually of Central American Studies who actually is Latino, and he he had some really good suggestions about how to make the setting better. Alice Pang wrote a great adventure for us called Moon Goddess's Daughter that is absolutely excellent. If you get a chance, you might want to get that PDF. And that would have been tough for actually a white person to write, but it's very much steeped in the legends of Asian. She was the person to write it. She was the only person that could have wrote that. But that's what you do. You go hunt for these people. They're out there. These people that can do it out there. And as Eric says, it's more lazy and easy just to say we're going to do this and this and not actually do the work and say, okay, we've hired 5 Asian writers and they're all going to write us an adventure taking place in an Asian setting. That's harder to do because that you actually have to put your money where your mouth is.
Right. And again, that bean counters don't want to invest in something that's not going to be a guaranteed return on the money. They couldn't even afford somebody to do a proper fucking Photoshop with this. How are they going to put together an actual setting that is going to?
It's so cringy. This whole thing is just cringe.
People they're trying to properly reflect. Again, if you're going to show your diversity and your inclusion, show it with the work that you're doing. Don't show it with a page like this.
And, I mean, Eric and I aren't the people to do something like this. We're old white dudes. We obviously would be the last person they would hire to do anything like this. So what we're saying is hire the people that could do something like this, but actually hire them. Don't tell me what you're gonna do. Do it and then show me and say, okay, that's cool. They decided to do an Afrocentric setting, and guess what? Everybody on the development team is a POC. That's awesome. That's what I want to see. Not that. Blah blah. Diversity leads to innovation, and if this and that. I mean, that doesn't. That's just cheap. That word's cheap. Come on. Oh, I
have 19
tell you what.
names now.
I could rant on this for half because I got so mad. Eric knows how much I ranted when I read this, and I was ranting him. But I've calmed down since that day. That was a few days ago, so I'm not quite as animated. But this struck me. I can't tell you in all the wrong ways so much when I first read it, but I'm a little more calm now. I've noticed I'm not ranting like I was. Non-English people stop writing and speaking English. I know. Okay, well, look, we kicked your ass in a war.
I speak American. Actually, I speak New York. All right, so
David, we won that war. We can do whatever we want with English now. We own English. We own English.
Appropriated it.
Yeah, it's 4th of July. That's what it's about. Speaking English and not letting the English people. You don't speak English over there anyway. I've heard what you guys speak. I don't know what that is. It's not English. But yes,
I think the Canadians like Greg speak the closest thing to a proper English.
He does. He throws in a boat in there every once in a while. He's got a very, very subtle accent, Mr. Gillespie does, but I hear it every once in a while. He does have that. American isn't English. Okay, that's true because, like I said, we won. We took the language. We effed it up. And then, and then we could just we high five each other.
Listen, we almost spoke German. And if we had made German the official language of the United States, World War I might have flipped around.
It would have been a lot different. Yeah. This
let's be glad that we screw up English as much as we did.
How many names do we have on our list so far, Eric?
We got 19. I think 19 is enough.
19's all? Let's wait till we get one more. Let's wait till we get one more.
No. We can.
Let's just do one more, and I'll roll a 20-sided dice. I got a 20-sided dice here somewhere. You wait till one more. Where's my 20-sided dice? I just had it. How does it disappear? How do dice disappear? I don't know. They just do. Come on,
David.
Man.
As a New Yorker, I know that we abbreviate any word that is longer than 2 syllables. So.
Here we go.
I don't know why the rest of the U.S. screws up. Words with a lot of U in it, but hey.
What they speak up in New York isn't English either, by the way.
Yes, yep. Queens, New York English. That's right, Joe.
No, not really. I don't know what that stuff is. It's not really. Yeah.
What's the matter with the dice, man? What's the matter with the
I
dice?
don't know. I had a 20-sided sitting right here. I was playing with it and fondling it, and then next thing I know, it's just disappeared because I guess it got stage fright. But look, I've got an entire bag here, so let's see what we got
a
going.
bag of
Oh
dice.
yeah, here we go. Here we go. There's some dice in here.
He's got the dice bag.
Yeah, there's 20-sided. How about a nice pink sprinkle here? All right, tell me we get 20. We got one. Oh, we got 20 now, right? We got one person.
I got 19, man. I got 19. We roll critical.
Joe Kinlan's in there. No, he's already in there. Wild Die Woodward's in there.
We got at least 20 people.
All right.
Now.
Well, I'm going to roll. If it's 20, I'm going to roll again. And it better not be 20 because I'm not rolling again. I'm rolling one time.
This is for $25. We'll move it up.
$25 gift certificate to Drive Through RPG.
This, by the way, is what would have been.
Of course, number 19. Number 19. Ryan, Aquath Media, you get a $25 gift certificate. Congratulations, sir.
Ryan, I'm going to put my email address in the chat in a second.
Congrats.
All right.
All right.
That's the money that was initially going to be in the pool for the Memorial Tomb. Will it actually make all its stretch goals? And
yeah, it did. So far, and
nobody went this far out.
Nobody went this far out because that's another piece of news. Is he just hit his next goal this week? So once again, Ben is just making laughing stock of our predictions and just giving us the finger, which good for him. You know.
So that's tenkars.tavern@gmail.com. Ryan, give me just say gifted 25, and you'll get it in the next day or so, maybe tonight if I can get myself through all this, but if not, tomorrow morning.
I've got a few prizes here. I'm going to wait till we get a few more numbers here to give away. I've got some dice bags and some Frog God books and maybe even a face mask, and so I've got some stuff.
Face mask.
Yeah,
I actually thought those were extra dice bags.
I got some dice bags too.
Extra dice bags, and then I was like, no, those aren't extra dice bags. Those are face masks.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, and so as we said, Ben made his next, and so I had this question, and I don't know if we ever got an answer for it. How long is Ben going to be allowed to hit goals before? I mean, does this go on for like weeks and months and years? Or?
I don't know. Here's the update on the Memorial Tomb. Greetings from the Den, Holy Carolina. I missed a few weeks. My apologies. First, it was the Castle Crusade Keeper's Guide. Now it's the 8th printing of the Player's Handbook. By the way, 8 printings of the Player's Handbook, all slightly changed.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they've got less typos than the first edition, we're moving in the right direction. Time flies when you're having fun. At any rate, Ben has not missed a deadline.
Wow. Amazing.
The complete Wilderness expansion, including appendices and handouts, has been turned over, all on time. And he has turned over the first chapter of the Underworld expansion. So we are moving along quite nicely. I turned over all the main book expansions and the Wilderness expansions to Tim Burns to head to editing. That should begin any day now. Thank you for your continued diligence and keeping us on task.
This is cool because it's just more content. And to answer the Mark's question there, Memorial Tomb, I have a feeling that they would be crazy not to, because I know they want to make a little money from this. I'm sure Troller Games didn't do this out of the absolute just goodness of their heart. They're going to overprint and they're going to put some more out there for sale. So I have a feeling you'll be able to get a copy.
Especially because Troller Games owns their own printing presses. They own their own printing facility. There's no reason not to overprint. It's not like they have to wait for it to get shipped.
No.
So they get a pretty good way to judge what's going on.
All right, so this week in Stupid, is it time to unveil?
Oh, geez,
the grand story here.
I screwed that email up. It's tenkars.tavern.
Oh,
Ryan. Yeah, listen, I never said that I'm not slow. tenkars.tavern@gmail.com. Oh, so lieber. All right.
You know what you do? We need to have a contest every week to see how late Ty Beard shows up. Because he's not in here yet.
Ty will show up.
Because he'll show up with 5 minutes left in the show or something.
Well, he's a working man.
Well, he shows up. I tuned in Friday. He stands at your whole show on Friday. He just hangs out the whole time. So I'm a little bummed out. He doesn't spend more time here Wednesday, and Friday. He's just all over the place. So that's okay. I know how you feel about me now, Ty. It's probably because it's Friday, and lawyers, they don't work on Fridays. They take off. They eat steaks and drink booze.
Apparently he gave
smoke
me
cigars and
he gave us a shout out on the Raikito live stream. Only problem is it's a 5-hour long live stream. There's no way in hell I was going to wait to see where our shout out was. But thank you.
We had a shout out. Bad Bob Batalotta. That guy, take him off the list right now.
I haven't put him on the list yet, but you know what? If we put Zach on the list, I think
we got to put him on. Yeah, we got to put him on. We'll put him on. So let's get down to our main story. We might need the whole hour to talk about this because this is just so delicious. And there's so many paths we could go on this one. So let's take you back years ago.
Wayne's World.
So once upon a time, there was this young lass named Jessica Price who worked for Paizo. And she worked for Paizo. And then one day she came out with a accusation out of the blue that, and this happened during Frank Mentzer's big Kickstarter that he ran that was never going to fund anyway.
No.
He wanted $100,000, I believe, and he had gotten.
No, I think he wanted $250,000. I think it was $250,000.
Oh dear God!
It was way too much.
It was way over what he was going to ever get. So she came out in the middle and said, "Oh, Frank Mentzer, I know that dude," and proceeded just to absolutely trash his rep. So what she ended up saying was that he was a little bit too much friendly old man with her, and he sent her something that said, "Boy, if he was just a few years younger and not married, he'd be all over that stuff." But it wasn't. It was meant in a cruddy old man way, not that he was really hitting on her. I mean, it's obviously she's not going to give him the time of day,
right?
But explain something about Jessica. Let me say something about Jessica Price. She is a professional rabble rouser, and by that I mean that every place she's ever gone, after she leaves, she absolutely trashes and burns it to the ground, and takes as many people as possible, all the while going, "Oh, woe was me, the poor female I was treated so badly." But she just absolutely just destroys wherever she's been. So crazy enough, she keeps getting hired because if I saw the track record, I'd be like, no thanks.
Yeah,
no trouble.
Yeah,
but
I got a feeling what it is that she probably on paper has a good resume, and it's like, well, we know her track record, but can we use that against her without causing problems?
She's a firebrand, and she's a spitfire, and all those crazy words. So anyway, so she proceeded to basically say these things about Frank. A couple other people kind of jumped on, said, "Yeah, Frank always acts kind of creepy old man," and totally tanked his Kickstarter, which is not going to see anyway, but basically got Frank booted out of the industry because that year, pretty much every con that it had invited him for a guest, because Gary Con had him a special guest, and there was a rumor he was going to be awarded the Gary Gygax Memorial Award that year. That was the rumor. Gamehole Con canceled on him and basically said, "Look, can you just stay home? There's all these accusations coming out about you." Frank did not go quietly into that dark night. He accused every convention that banned him of having ulterior motives. He publicly and privately trashed Luke Gygax and said that he and his family were puppets of Hasbro, and they were just doing what Hasbro told him. So he was permanently uninvited from GaryCon forever. He said the same thing kind of about Alex and Gamehole Con, so now he's permanently uninvited from Gamehole forever. So he pretty much just, this whole thing with Jessica Price pretty much just finished him off. He's instead of being elder father of the statesman of the hobby, he's just an old guy, a bitter old man now that doesn't really have any effect on anything. So that was one of the first things she did. So over the years, she feels free to jump in and say stuff. And apparently one of the things she jumped in and said something about was forming a union at Paizo. That got her fired from Paizo. Of course, she says she got fired because she was a strong woman and they didn't like strong women. Blah blah.
Right. She was pushing
Yeah.
back and
And so
defending her people.
they fired her for that. Then she went and worked for a video game company as a content director. And once upon a day, she decided to trash one of the customers that asked her a very simple question online about something. She accused him of mansplaining and went on what a piece of shit he was. Well, she was fired within 24 hours then.
This was a company that put out Guild Wars, if I remember
Yeah.
right. By the way, if you're listening and you haven't commented yet, and you're listening live, comment. The way you get on the potentially gift sheet, which I'm holding up here. Look at all those names you can almost kind of see. Is by commenting. So, Nicholas, I got you. Timothy, I got you. Half naked Bob, I got you.
Half naked.
So
almost all naked.
This is how we get you down on the list.
So anyway, so she's popped in over the years. She has a Twitter account. She'll pop in and basically trash somebody, and it's always very like it's sort of a half truth, but she leaves out part of the truth, or she makes up part of it. It's never the full truth with her. There's always a story there, or she just kind of misspeaks, doesn't say something right. So she's very much just a rabble rouser at this point. She'll probably never work in the industry again. I had an argument with an industry insider about that once. I don't think she'll.
Man, she's she's been rising from the fucking dead, man. She's like a vampire.
I think she worked for PAX for a while. I don't know if she still works there or not. She doesn't appear to need a job. From what I've seen her Twitter account, she doesn't appear to need a job because she's always taking vacations to Europe. So she's got money. I think I've heard her family has money, so she doesn't really need a job. But yeah, she's a gadfly, and she's a person that just says things just to see. She likes to watch the world burn. Let's put it that way. And so she'll accuse people of misogyny or this or that. It's a big fight against the white dudes in the industry. Blah blah. So she has been quiet for a while. I mean, she pops up every once in a while and says something controversial because her name's not out there for a while, and so she decides, oh, I haven't been talked about for a while, and so she'll pop in and say something ridiculous and then pop out. But so she waited this year until Gen Con, which is very smart of her because she's all about me publicity. Yep. Look at me. So the week of Gen Con, she decides to come out, and she used to work for Paizo, and she basically decides to throw the entire company of Paizo under the bus. And she does this because they fired the head of customer service and an employee resigned in protest. And according to her words, those are the last two people that worked for the company that if she'd ever said anything publicly, Paizo would have retaliated against. So she says, now that they're gone, I can tell you pretty much what happened while I worked there. Now, is this all the truth? I don't know. What does a company like Paizo say? They say believe all women. So you know what? I'm going to believe Jessica Price because they say believe all women. I'm going to believe her. If she says it's true. And also it's backed up later on by Crystal Frazier, who also worked there, who's a trans. She's trans, and she worked there for a long time. She left kind of under odd circumstances. So she has this long post. I would urge you to read it if you can find it. You probably find it online, find a link. But basically, it goes into detail about what a absolute shithole Paizo is to work for, and how
even if you take away her issues, her personal issues with people, there is enough grit here to go, wow, I really wouldn't want to work at Paizo. And I'm going to say one of the most interesting parts, which has nothing to do with anybody's gender or orientation or racial or ethnic background. They didn't vacuum the fucking floors for 7 years.
That was great. But, that's the great thing about that, Eric, is that's an OSHA violation.
Yes.
That's like really bad. But so anyway, so we'll come back to that. But so she decides to throw him under the bus.
By the way, you named the devil. He showed up.
There he is. Oh, we did. Hey, we still have an hour left in the show. He showed up. So we love you, Ty. Anyway, So she decides to throw the entire company under the bus very selectively. She kind of throws Lisa a little bit, but I'm going to tell you right now, for those who don't know, Lisa Stevens is trans, and she's kind of a untouchable in the industry. Nobody likes to talk bad about her because she is a very influential trans person, trans woman who is a millionaire. That's not putting it bluntly. She's a millionaire now, and so while she kind of trashes Lisa a little bit, she really saves all her venom for all the white males that work at Paizo.
She basically says that Lisa, she was already like not day to day when this stuff was happening, so she might have been owner on paper, but she really wasn't involved in the process.
But it's really a way of not being mean to, because look, she doesn't want to burn her bridges with Lisa Stevens. Nobody does in this industry. Nobody's going to trash Lisa. So she saves all her ire for people like Jeff Alvarez and Eric Mona and some poor girl named, I can't remember, Tanya something. And so she goes into detail like, here's all the shitty things that happen at Paizo. And so this is a company, you got to remember, Paizo is a company that prides itself on the exact same things that WotC just tried to pride themselves on: diversity, inclusiveness. They apparently employ a lot of LGBTQ people. They try to present this, veneer of, hey, we love women, we love POC, we love LGBTQ, all this stuff. And her point is, what else? It's all lip service. They don't really care. She accuses upper management of using the F word when it comes to gay people. She accuses them of treating pretty much all their employees like shit, but especially trans ones and the women. She accuses them of not listening to employees. The story that Eric referenced was that she once asked if the floor had ever been vacuumed in there, and they said no, not for 7 years.
Because the cleaner had a bad back. Okay, and here's the great thing: it would cost too much to have that cleaned, as long as, I guess, and the air vents too for the air circulation system, because the guy had a bad back, so they didn't ask him to actually clean.
So apparently they had employees there that were dying of asthma. I mean, that's disgusting. I live this warehouse. I have to vacuum it and mop it once a month. I can't imagine how it's 7 years. Gross. And so anyway, and she has this long story about, which, look, take what she says with a grain of salt, but believe all women. So, but she says that she brought her own vacuum cleaner up, and they told her, no, you can't do that.
She killed the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, she destroyed her vacuum cleaner.
The vacuum cleaner and the rug cleaner died.
What was it? A shop vac? I mean, come on.
Yeah. And then they were told afterwards, oh, you can't do that because that's a violation of insurance rules.
I mean, I'm sorry. Okay, look, you can't kill a vacuum cleaner doing that unless you have dirt this thick. I mean, unless you're using a shop vac. So a lot of this is probably, I'd hate to say that Jessica likes to exaggerate, but she likes to exaggerate for effect. So anyway, so she says that, but then it just gets better from there. Because then she accuses Eric Mona of being a Nazi, and I'm not joking. You have to read this; it's hilarious.
Oh, I gotta find that one.
Oh, and by the way, so she apparently got everybody in the office to email HR about the rugs, and they finally got them cleaned, and they were apparently very angry at her because she had got everybody together to do this campaign to get the carpets, clean.
Right. The HR guy, when I passed him in the hall a few weeks later, told me he knew it was me behind the stunt with the emails. And I was like, okay, like no shit, Sherlock. I signed my name and everything. But I got a heaping helping of resentment directed at me from the exec. Of course you did. For a while after.
Not for anything in her personality, no. It was just that. So anyway, so then she accused Eric Mona of being a Nazi. Oh, who else did she throw under the bus? She throws the female boss that she had, Tanya something. She accuses her of being a company woman that they told them all whenever they get together and have secret meetings.
Right. She was brought to a secret
right,
kind of like a non-union meeting where we're going to discuss problems we have with leadership. And apparently, this individual took notes and then went back to leadership and said, "Hey, these people are complaining about you," which I'll tell you right now, That shit fucking happened. I believe it because I've seen it.
Ty makes the best point. This is why I'm half jokingly saying believe all women. Paizo treats someone to the same burden of proof that inspires others. And you know what people at Paizo say? They say believe all women. So you know what I'm doing, Eric? I'm believing all women. I absolutely believe Jessica Price, and I absolutely believe Crystal Frazier, who, by the way, after this thread, Crystal backed her up and added more details. Crystal also added the delicious detail that what's his name? Oh God, I forgot the name. Bullman.
Jason Bull. Oh my god.
Jason Bullman used to hit on her. This is Crystal saying this. Hit on the trans girl, and then when he was rebuffed, he got very sensitive and very pissy. And basically, apparently, he used to send unsolicited dick pics to people. She says he hit on every single girl at work there, married, unmarried, trans, untrans, whatever.
Well, apparently, one of the issues was that Jessica had a working relationship with Bowman, and then it went south after he hit on her.
Yeah.
Which she thought, well, I turned him down and everything was fine, but then he told his staff not to deal with her staff, thereby causing issues. So.
Yes, Ty. I also, Ty. There was a big helping of popcorn whiskey today when I was reading this because I was laughing my ass off at the people supposedly are more woke. They're being accused of the most disgusting, awful things you could ever imagine, and you know what? Everybody deserves to be hammered for this. First of all, as somebody said there, if Jessica was having such a bad time, why didn't she say anything? I'll tell you why she didn't say anything. Because number one, she's all talk, no walk. She wanted to keep her job there, even as shitty as a job as it was. And number two, she would have got hammered because at the time they were considered the most woke company ever. And so you can't come out and say ugly things about them. She would have been absolutely just screwed in the industry. Well, at this point, she doesn't care about the industry anymore because she hasn't been employed in a while. So she's just burning every bridge on the way out of town. She's absolutely just burning every bridge.
And listen, she did throw Lisa under the bus. Lisa Stevens had this idea that if things weren't shipping on time, that wasn't because we were under-resourced. Even when employees were in crunch mode year-round, it was clearly before the team was sitting around in hammocks with their feet up. And in our meetings, she talked about the need to find the cancer. And the cancer being the employees that weren't working hard enough.
Now this is I've heard rumors about this for years, so I will back Jessica up on this. Paizo is considered an extremely cheap company. They made a lot of money for Lisa. Lisa's a millionaire, and she is. And she's one of the few people out of 5 people that have gotten rich in the gaming industry. Lisa Stevens is one of them. She's been made very wealthy. They have been for a long time. They are very cheap. Let me see if I can disguise this properly. We found out that freelancers at Paizo were being paid far less than freelancers at Frog God Games, as in embarrassingly less. And Paizo is a magnitude or more bigger than Frog God. Yeah. You should be able to pay better than Frog God Games. Yet, they made a lot of money, and they're very cheap. So I have heard confirmation of this. They're just extremely cheap. They don't pay well. They just work everybody to the bone. They don't pay overtime. They just heap projects on you, blah, blah, blah. That's why they've lost a lot of their talent in the last 2 or 3 years, because they're finally leaving to go to other companies. The problem with a lot of talent in the gaming industry is there's very few places you can go unless you're willing to start your own company. You can go to WotC, and that's really about it. And WotC has a finite amount of positions available. So you can either go to WotC, or you go to a smaller company where you're probably not going to be paid as much, or you start your own publishing company, kind of like Wolfgang Barr did. You start your own place and make your own money, which is probably the best thing. If you're a talented, intelligent individual, that's probably the best way to go. Just start your own company and make your money there, and just say, you know what, I'm not working for other people anymore. I'm working for myself. But that's the problem, is a lot of these people just didn't have any. They felt like they had nowhere else to go,
right?
And so
there's a limited place. Now, Shadzar wants to know if that's that $1 per page thing, was that Paizo or somebody else?
When you say $1 per page, I'm looking for what is.
I put up on the screen.
Oh, I don't know what you mean by $1 per thing. I'm sorry, $1 per page thing. Is
It's
that
usually by
you mean?
word.
No, it's by nobody pays $1 per page. They wouldn't even work at Paizo. I don't think so, Shazar, yet because people get paid by word. Now, there's different. You could, I mean, I think top end of the industry is 40 cents a word, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know the numbers on that. But let's just say they pay substantially less than a lot of other companies, and they make a lot of money. So if you're working there, it's to build up your portfolio to say I worked at Paizo for 2 years, and that looks good when you eventually apply to WotC because all these people, every one of them want to work for WotC, and that's all they want to do. But the problem is there's only one WotC. There's one. So there's not that many jobs available. That's another reason probably why Jessica didn't talk about this stuff, or a lot of the ex-employees of Paizo don't talk about this. Now, why are they talking about it now? The reason they're talking about it now is because WotC or Paizo has been shedding employees like crazy the last couple of years. Why? Well, because COVID and a lot of other reasons, but they have fallen off their high pedestal. For a few years there, Paizo sold out, so they outsold D&D. This is during 4th edition. 4th edition was probably the least well-received edition of D&D, and they were outselling D&D. They were making a lot of money in those years, a ton of money in those years. And so these, where was I going with that? I was going somewhere with that, someplace good. I was going to a good place with that.
Well, Paizo did spend a lot of money on.
And so their money,
Pathfinder computer game that was they raised $1 million on Kickstarter.
And look, no company except for Paizo and have a department where you just sit there and work at games. For instance, Front God Games, they're all freelancers. You have very, very few permanent employees. Paizo did. They had a lot of them. Well, they started shedding them. They started shedding the last couple of years because they couldn't afford them because their sales have gone down. Pathfinder 2 has been a disaster for them, and they can say whatever they want. If you look at the sales figures, it's a disaster. Starfinder, yes, it picked up a little bit. Starfinder has actually turned out to be their shining star because for some reason people were playing Starfinder. I don't know why. It's not that great a game either, but Pathfinder 2.0 was an absolute disaster. They've been losing money, so they're shedding employees, and they're doing what a lot of other companies do. They're just hiring freelancers. So all these people that worked for them for years for basically no money, they're being let go, and it's being termed a mutual decision. Like, for instance, when Crystal Fraser was let go, it was a mutual decision. She just wants to go off on her own. Well, maybe not. Maybe they just wanted to get rid of her. So now these people are saying, yeah, you know what? Since I don't work for him anymore and we parted on bad terms, oh yeah, I'll tell you what really used to happen at Paizo. And that's why we're going to get these kind of exposés. And we find out that Jason Bullman sent out supposedly sent out dick pics, and oh gosh, I'm losing my thread of thought. I'm drinking too much here. Eric Mona supposedly is a Nazi, although he came out today and has vehemently denied that and said that's not exactly what happened.
Right.
Yeah, he said, she said. I believe her. You should believe all women. So, anyway, this is why this has become such a delicious mess, because it happened right on the eve of Gen Con. And now all these people that were showing up to Gen Con to push their products and talk about the new releases, there's only one question on everybody's mind. Is it, did you get a Jason Bowman dick pic? or are you a person that they, because she named several people without naming names. She said there was a trans person there that they treated very badly because this person wanted to go to conventions and they said, no, we don't have anybody to room with you because you're trans. That's shocking. That's pretty shocking for a company that supposedly is diverse and
oh yeah, that's right. They said no convention for you because you're a trans and we don't have another trans.
Sure, yeah,
to room with you.
That's nuts. Anyway, so this is just, as you can well imagine, like an atomic bomb, because it's the week before Gen Con. Jessica Price is not stupid. This is absolutely planned to be this week because she knew it would get a lot of attention and she'd be the center stage again. And it's absolutely had the effect that she thought it would have, is that people are can't believe that Paizo is doing this. They want to go burn all their Paizo books and they're going to never purchase their stuff again. So it's delicious. As Ty said, Bring out the popcorn and the whiskey. Let's see what happens here. Oh, and then like I said, the best part is the fact that Crystal Frazier has backed her up and said, "Yeah, this all happened. Plus, let me give you a few others." And so Crystal threw in a few additional people under the bus. So it's been quite a delicious 24 hours, Eric.
Delicious, I tell you, Mike. I need you to get 26 on the list.
26 on the list. All right.
So you might have to roll.
I got a 10-sided and a 6-sided. So let's go here. All right. So it's in the middle. So it's 11 through 20. Let's see. It is 20.
20. All right. Guess who it is?
Not
the half-naked one.
Oh, my dumb brother.
Your dumb brother.
Would he win?
$50.
Woo!
Drive
all right, that's cool. Well, he'll probably find something to do. He'll find something to do with that money, I guess, or that gift certificate.
I'm sure he will. He can buy you a gift.
He needs to. You know, Christmas is coming up, Rob. How many more prizes do we have to give out, by the way?
A couple. So let's do another one. Let's
I'm gonna say we got 40 minutes. So
let's do 100 right now.
100. Okay, let's do it. This is gonna be 3. This is 13.
Well, hold on, I gotta add Effie down, but he didn't win. But
okay, he didn't win though.
All right, 13. No, that's a reroll. Joe the lawyer bounced out.
Oh yeah, well he didn't deserve anything. How about 3?
3. Matt Melman. Matt
Melman is here. My brother is here. He just
commented.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yep, Matt's here. My brother just threw that in there.
So Matt,
Bad Bob 20.
You know, I got the.
So Rob and Matt contact Eric at tenkars.tavern at
gmail.com.
You comment, contact him, and he will get you the gift certificates. Nice. How many? What else do we have left to give away?
We have 100 left. We have 250 left. Ooh. All right. This box, U.S. only. And these Chessex dice that came in my Myth Horde that they kind of sort of glow, but they don't really glow so you can read them. So I guess I know why I got them. So now somebody in the U.S. will be gifted them.
Why don't you team up the box and the dice can go in the box? Just have one giveaway because I want to give away I'm going to give away this stack of books over here
all right,
too.
They fit in the box.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we'll do the box. Here, let's do the box and the dice now.
Okay, box and the dice. So a cool box and dice that go in it. So let me see what we got here. We have 18. 18.
Joe Kinlan. I'm gonna.
Are you in here, Mr. Joe Kinlan? He posted earlier. I know he did. Joe Kinlan,
if you're listening.
Kinlan,
come on down.
Hop in,
and hopefully you live in the States.
We'll give you a few minutes. Joe.
If you're on a shitter, you better get off the shitter.
So I did a lot of talk in there, Eric. Do you want to add anything to this delicious, happy-go-lucky story? I mean,
all right. So here, Eric Mona decided to respond with his statement on the occult, Saint Germain, and otherwise.
Yes. Because the accusation of Nazism was because he had a picture of Saint Germain on his wall that had an iron cross in it, and also supposedly he collected Victorian occult memorabilia, which included swastika stuff. Right. So that's pretty much where she comes in.
With what we discussed, we should probably throw in the Paizo's official response to all that.
Oh yeah, the official. Absolutely, Ty's gonna love this. This is the lawyer speak you've ever heard spoken.
All right, are you ready to rumble? Okay, so the recent departure of 2 longtime Paizo employees has generated a great deal of public discussion. I don't think that I would qualify this as a mere discussion, but all right.
Yeah, whatever.
Including a series of accusations critical of the company's management that range back several years. While Paizo cannot discuss personnel issues in public, we wish to strongly affirm the company's commitment to the ideals of inclusiveness and diversity in gaming, both within our company and the products we create. I don't think that is so much of an issue. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I gotta add Z Wiki in for later gifting. All right. Uh, from the day the company opened back in 2002. Oh my God, has it been that long? Shit. All the way to the present. POC and I take a deep breath here. Hold on a second. LGBTQIA plus contributors and staff. I got that right. And staff have been a critical part of our creative and business operations, and our company has been at the forefront of these issues in the work we publish and the values we espouse. We are committed to these values. You just said you were. And work to do better every day, backed up by a tremendous staff at all levels of the company, all of whom share the values of inclusivity, diversity, and improvement. We are also working actively to listen to those employees and take additional steps to ensure that they feel their voices are being heard. By doing so, we believe that we become better now than we were 5 years ago, and we'll be better 5 years from now than we were today. We are today. So, I guess they're saying this all happened 5 years ago. Is that what they're saying? Mike, you're muted, Mike. I can't hear you.
So does not address one single accusation and basically just says, "Hey, we're very diverse and inclusive. You love us, right?" Absolutely no nothing. Doesn't do anything. Which I'm sure they talked to a lawyer at some point. And he said just nothing. Don't say anything. Just give them blah blah blah. They're actually getting roasted for this, by the way, because people demand answers and they gave no answers there. So, but that as a lawyer speak, that was probably the best response I could give because really they can't address a lot of this. Now, when Eric in his post he addresses it and he pretty much says that she's a liar. and
Yeah.
and she blew things out of proportion. So he has I thought he did a much better job than Joe did in terms of basically saying, look, here's what she said I did, and I didn't do this.
Yeah, so here I'm not going to give his statement. Actually, it's fairly long, but a recent Twitter thread critical of Paizo's management called out 3 elements related to my interest in historical occultism as problematic from a company culture perspective. And I'd like to take a moment to respond to them, not as a company representative, but as me, Eric. And by the way, Eric Mona spells his name the proper way, with a K. So, there we go. Specifically, these criticisms involve a picture of the occult figure Saint Germain I once had on the wall of my office that offended some coworkers. A tiny picture of a swastika I once accidentally posted to my personal Facebook amid a huge dump of occult images. And 3, some creatures I wrote for a Pathfinder bestiary that were inspired by theosophy and Eastern mysticism. Ugh. Because my personal values do not align with racism at all, and the accusations seem to suggest I hold racist beliefs, I want to respond to these accusations personally. I have long been intrigued by the mythology of the allegedly immortal Comte de Saint Germain, a jewel thief, composer, spy, and all-around 18th century weirdo. In any case, I found that I thought it was a fun portrait of the guy from that cult to put it on my wall. I do not recall ever being told by any of my coworkers that they found the image problematic. Regardless, this illustration has not been displayed for several years. I regret any offense. This is pure lawyerly speak. Regardless, I regret any offense that the image may have caused anyone, and I categorically apologize that I did not anticipate that some may have been made uncomfortable.
That's what I did one of his. I apologize that you're offended. Apologies.
Yeah,
I'm apologize that you're offended because I didn't do anything wrong. But so that's pretty standard.
A few years back, I acquired an occult book from the turn of the century that included page after page filled with occult symbols. I posted images of several pages from the book to my personal Facebook. I'm guessing it was out of copyright. Otherwise, that'd be a copyright violation.
So, yeah.
Bad publisher. Shortly thereafter, a friend pointed out that one of the symbols was a swastika. Unfortunately, very common in occult books of the age, as it had not yet achieved its 20th century infamy. Something I had initially overlooked. I removed the image immediately upon it being noticed. Again, I regret that I posted it at all, but this was an honest mistake that was probably online for less than an hour total. That's not what Jessica said. Jessica was like, this was,
Believe all women.
I wrote some monsters in a Pathfinder bestiary that were inspired by theosophy, which some people found objectionable, as recounted in the accusation. Paizo's editors clipped material he thought might be problematic, which is a testament to the skill and intelligence of Paizo's editors, as protecting our manuscripts from unconscious bias is part of their jobs and something they do very well. To summarize, I am not aligned with racism of any kind. I stand strongly behind the values of diversity and inclusion. Fuck Nazis. Fuck them in the eye. Thank you for your time.
Well, that's so stunning and brave saying fuck Nazis because, nobody says that. That's amazing that Eric would go that far out on a limb.
Yeah, I'm
That to
surprised it
say
wasn't
fuck Nazis. That's
I thought that would
crazy.
be.
That's just, well, they can't say that anymore. They get kicked off of Facebook if they say
Oh, okay.
so
Sorry.
he just
sorry.
said, fuck Nazis. I guess that could be saying as being gentle and making love to him. I don't know. So he does at least manage to defend himself. Of course, the stupid thing at the end about fuck Nazis is ridiculous because you're not taking a stand at all when you say you hate Nazis. That's ludicrous. But yeah, he at least does more than Jeff Alvarez, who was probably constrained by legal reasons and really couldn't get into much detail. So he, and then there was another post that Eric said earlier that it was on his Twitter that he basically called her a liar. He said that this didn't, the things that she talks about didn't happen. So we have the classic he said, she said here because they're saying that didn't happen. Now, what's funny is usually when Jessica goes on these little rants, she gets very little pushback from people because people are scared of her, that they won't say things and they won't say anything. But I think she's going to get some pushback from Paizo. Paizo's not going to let themselves sit here and face this without saying anything. So I think Bowman's eventually going to comment. I think
he has to.
Oh, I think he has to. Definitely.
He has to. Wait. Whether or not the dick picking is accurate, and I have no opinion as to whether it is, he has to respond because if you leave it as it is, he's got to get fired.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that's way over the top, and people have been fired from companies for much less. People have been fired in the gaming industry for much less. So yeah, that's definitely got to be dealt with. A bunch of the other things. I'm actually very interested. So this all started because the head of their customer service, which apparently is somebody that everybody loved her, real big sweetheart, worked the company for years and years and years. Apparently she was let go for unspecified reasons. And the speculation was that she was let go because they were going to, this is all speculation, but that they were told by management that the customer service people had to come back into work. Now, for the last year and a half, 2 years, everybody at Pies has been working remotely. Nobody comes into work there. They all work remotely. And the speculation was that she was told that she and her department, despite being able to do customer service perfectly well from their house or from remote locations, was told that, no, you're going to have to start coming into work. And she said no, and they said, okay, well, see you later. And after this, another employee resigned in protest also because, so that's why. So they're not saying exactly why, but that they're saying this is probably what happened.
Yeah, they were saying that she left of her own accord. I guess it was kind of like, if you don't come back in, we're gonna fire you.
Right.
All right, fuck you, fire me. All right, well, we're taking your resignation right now. I didn't resign. You fired me.
Yeah.
And
could have been one of those.
And why do you want somebody to resign and not be fired? So you don't have to pay out the unemployment.
Right.
Companies aren't stupid, all right? And it's not just public perception; it's pocketbook. And what hits that wallet is because you're not firing somebody for cause, right? You're firing them because they don't want to return to work during the pandemic. They'll get unemployment for that. And why do they want to bring them back? Because they feel they're not getting their dollar value out of people sitting around in house slippers doing customer service.
Which is ridiculous because we found in the last year and a half that almost any job can be done from your house. Look, working in a cubicle is a very outdated concept that came from the 1800s and 1900s. The sweatshops, and they felt like they had to be there to yell at you and hit you on the head with a ruler. You don't look. This is a new world. You don't have to be at work anymore. I'm sorry, it's just that's the way it is. So a lot of these companies, though, feel like they get more productivity if they can yell at you in person rather than on the phone. And honestly, I think it's hilarious that Paizo is one of those companies because they seem like they should be more enlightened than that and say, okay, yeah, if you could do your work at home, no problem. So the fact that this is all blow up over somebody that wants to work from home is hilarious. So somebody was talking about phrenology. Phrenology came to this because apparently Mona's also a big. He's done a lot with phrenology. Phrenology, for those who don't know, it's a very outdated and very discredited method of personality by like you read bumps on somebody's head or how their head is. It's also considered very racist because inevitably the 19th century practice of phrenology would say if your head was like a black person's, that means you were a savage and weren't very intelligent. So it's a very outdated and very racist philosophy. That was another accusation leveled at Mona was that he's really into phrenology too, and I don't know, does he? I don't think he didn't say in there he believes in phrenology. Nobody believes in phrenology anymore, so I don't know. I mean,
and if you did, who cares?
No.
Bumps on the head. Oh, who cares? All right, I'm gonna hold a button over your hand. If it goes left, it means one thing. It goes. My aunt, the nun, used to do stuff like that.
No.
I mean, God help us.
So the deliciousness of this whole situation is the fact that you have Jessica Price, professional rabble rouser, who once worked for Paizo and was one of their buddies, is obviously coming back and setting fire to the building and trying to burn it down on the way out the door, which is it's just desserts because they have made this huge production over the years about we're the most LGBTQ friendly company ever, and we are just the most amazing company because we do this. Well, as in most cases, guess what? It bit them on the ass because it turns out that maybe they're not that progressive after all. Maybe they do these really disgusting things that and they're cheap. Like I said, they're cheap. That's not a surprise in the industry. There's been talk for years that they are super cheap. Because I think there was also something that Jessica said about how they made people room together all the time, like in these big rooms. Like, hey, we're gonna stick 6. We're gonna go to a con, and we're gonna stick like 8 of you in this room with 2 beds. That's been hinted at quite a bit. Is that they do stuff like that because they're cheap. So this is just it's hilarious because this is what happens when you, as the magic word says, when you virtue signal too hard. Last week we were accusing Lanasa and them, not Lanasa, but the other Deinhardt and them of virtue signaling. Well, this time it's gonna get the Paizo guys.
But again, here's the thing: you don't have, even if you're saying, you know what, she's half full of shit, which is quite likely. She's full of enough truth that Eric Mona had to explain everything. So he's not saying this didn't happen. He's answering this happened and this is why it shouldn't be regarded as offensive. So it makes he actually is supporting her other accusations by actually explaining why the accusations against him are truthful, but maybe not offensive if you knew the underlying.
And she's full of shit because, look, when she got fired from the video game company, it was absolutely justified, even though they tried to say, well, no, it's because this mean guy was mansplaining to her and she had to defend herself. No, he wasn't. Everything's online. You can read it. It's absolutely not mansplaining. Mansplaining is subjective anyway, but this was not mansplaining. There was no reason she had to approach the guy like she did and call him a rando asshat, which is what you don't call your customers, and just basically said he's a piece of shit when all he was doing was saying, hey, I just had this suggestion about this. And the correct response would have been, well, I'm a game designer, you're not. I mean, there's a million ways you could have responded. Well, I mean, you could have said, I'm a game designer, you're not, so I'm going to believe I know more than you. I mean, she could have done a million things except basically name call, because that's all she knows how to do is name call and burn down and throw bombs. And so she did that. Fortunately for her, somebody actually stood behind themselves and said, oh, you're fired. Whereas Paizo, from what I understand, so this is all what I've heard, so take none of this as gospel, but they were looking for a chance to fire her for years. They could not fucking stand her there because all she did was blah, blah, blah. We want a union. We want this. You need to clean up this room over here. We want this. So, I mean, all she did was go into management and bother them about everything. And they finally just said the first thing that she does that we don't like from here on out, we're going to fire her. And that happened, and they got rid of her because they were just tired of her shit. So they put up with her for a long time. It's odd that everybody else puts up with her for a lot less. She had the benefit of the doubt working for Paizo. At this point, whoever she works for, she has no benefit of the doubt. If they don't like.
Now here's my again my background. I spent a number of years as a supervisor in internal affairs. Documentation is everything in one of these circumstances, especially when you're talking about OSHA violations and such. And if she documented this stuff, I would. I don't want to say I would suspect that she's smart enough to have documented this because her accusations in the past have never been backed up. It's all been he said, she said.
And I have, by the way, Eric and I both have firsthand knowledge where she absolutely lied about an event. So she's a known liar. She will lie.
Right, but this is stuff that if it happened as she's saying it did, and there are certain, again, the Eric Mona stuff tells us that some of it happened. Maybe she misinterpreted it, but some of it definitely happened. If she documented, especially the OSHA stuff, that could be huge. If she didn't document it, shame on her. Okay,
and believe me, if that not vacuuming thing's true, that's an absolute OSHA violation that would get you shut down and fined. I've worked for companies before that have got fined for much less than that, much less. I was working for a company once that got shut down because they weren't cleaning the toilets enough. Imagine not cleaning the carpet for 7 years. I mean, I knew a company that got shut down because they didn't clean the toilets for like a month. Didn't scrub them out, and I mean. Yeah, you don't vacuum for 7 years.
I worked at a location for the NYPD that got hit with an OSHA violation and a fine because we used bars of soap in the bathroom and not the little squeeze thing.
How dare you, sir?
Yes, bars of soap got us an OSHA violation. So OSHA is no joke.
No, they will fuck you up. They will definitely fuck you up. Yes, so. If she documented this, which I doubt she did, then yes, this is all documentable. But she, in the past, I mean, she has shown documentation. I think when Frank got thrown on the bus, she did have Frank's IMs to her,
right?
Which she presented. So she will keep certain documentation. I would love if she really thinks if this really happened. Oh, Jessica, please give us some emails, internal emails you saved, or IMs, or how about some Bowman dick pics? I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them, but I would like to know if they exist. Yeah,
they exist. Yes.
Or Crystal Frazier, if you have those on your phone, Crystal, baby, let's see them. I love to see that shit because that would be hilarious.
Because we definitely don't have an issue exposing violators, but not that kind of exposure. Because I don't want to get booted from YouTube just after hitting 1,000. It's like, and dick pics for channel banned. No.
Look, the dirty little secret here is that most gaming companies in the early part of the century, this is before Me Too, they were let's just put it the way it was. They're good old boy networks, and it was a bunch of frat kind of guys. Everybody drank, they partied. I heard legendary stories about the White Wolf parties. We're talking, and this has been confirmed through many people, we're talking girls in cages dancing nude. We're talking underage strippers. I mean, seriously, this stuff was bad back in the early aughts. And we knew people that went to these parties and very quickly left once they realized that this is like illegal. What's going on here?
This is like a potential felony.
Yeah. So this went on in the game. This is no doubt this stuff went on in the gaming industry. The gaming industry has gotten better. It's been hiring more women, more POC, more LGBTQ. But at its heart, there's still a lot of white dudes that feel like they're very privileged, which is why, even though I think Jessica's probably exaggerating for effect, I don't doubt that some form of these things probably happen. There's a grain of truth here because I don't doubt that guys that have been in the industry this long, like Alvarez and and Mona and them have maybe said something not quite right or acted not quite right on occasion. So I mean, there's a there's a gram of truth everywhere, but we don't know. Who knows? It just makes for extremely interesting topics
Yes.
right before Gen Con, because the best part is I can just see these guys on the plane going to Gen Con and their phones start blowing up and they're like, holy crap. And so instead of answering questions about their product for the next 4 days, they're just going to be dodging.
Oh, Mr. Bowman, do you have any dick pics on you that we can see? I want to verify. Mr. Bowman, could you show me your penis so I can verify if it matches the penis on this dick pic that was forwarded?
Eric, Eric Mona, do you have a swastika tattoo on your butt? I mean, it's all everything they wanted to accomplish at Gen Con this week is just all down the toilet.
Yeah.
They've already probably had 3 emergency meetings. I'm sure they've had a lawyer talk to them. I'm sure they've had, don't say this, you can't say. I mean, this trip to Gen Con has become an absolute nightmare for these guys. Hey, do you want to roll for another prize real quick?
Yeah, let's do the other 100.
How many people do we got here? How many people do we got?
We got 29.
All right, so I got to do third. So, we're still at 29. I thought we were 29. All right, well, all right, 29. Before. Here we go.
Or 26 before.
All right, so we're going.
That being a few others.
Middle number 12.
No, sorry, yeah, Helen Simpson.
Helen Simpson. I didn't know.
And she just commented, so she should know.
Helen Simpson. If you were here, pop up and say hello to us. Helen Simpson, because we don't want to give this $100 away, man.
Helene Simpson, you are the
$100 here. $100 for that's a lot of gaming goodness.
$100
that is a lot of
drive-through RPG.
Oh, there she is! Yahoo!
Email
yes,
me.
$100 in drive-through RPG.
I'll put the email down again. Listen, the next time we do anything like this is probably going to be anything this big. Will be at 5,000 subs, so it might take a long time because this is big. This is big.
While we're sitting here, I've got a little happy package here. So if you win this, I want you to contact me, and I will mail this to you. So what we got here is we have a 2020 dice bag for RPG Con. Oh, that's nice. And guess what? A little face mask. That's cool. So you have a face mask and a dice bag, plus this monster Northland Saga Complete for Swords and Wizardry.
It'll stop a
$135 retail price. It is gigantic. It's a complete Northland Saga written by the great Ken Spencer. And Cults of the Southern Kingdom,
good book,
written by Vaughn, Christophs, a few others. And because I like this guy so much, Casey Christophs' Cephalon Gorges on the Moon adventure, which is an awesome adventure. All for Swords and Wizardry. So this is a Swords and Wizardry / dice bag face bundle, so you can use your dice while you're reading these, and you can put the face mask on while you're reading.
Do I need to be the one that rolls?
Yeah, why don't you roll? You go ahead and roll.
All right, so here, hold on a second. I got it.
Oh, well, you know what? No, I'll roll. Let me roll because you got the numbers there. So let me roll. I'll roll it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, you're right. You're right.
This is a late number. 26.
26. David Shepard.
David Shepard. There he is. How thick is that Northlands book? Well, David, you're about to find out because this is coming to your house, brother. So, David, contact me. If you're on Facebook, if you're not on Facebook, my email is badmike3@aol.com. Just send me your address, David, and I will get that to you. Or if you know me on Facebook, contact me on Facebook. I am me, and I will. You're in the UK. Oh, all
right,
David, you're in the UK.
Mike, you can send them all that in PDF, though, right?
Yeah, I can't send the mask of the dice bag, but I can do that. So I tell you what we're going to do, David. Just contact me. I will set you up with a PDF bundle. We're going to give away this again to somebody in the United States.
Even better.
I can't mail it to you, David. But contact me, and I will. You have to have a Frog God Games account. If you don't have one, go ahead and get one on the website. If you do, just let me know your email, and I will deposit a bunch of goodies into your Frog God Games account, a bunch of PDFs.
All right. So here's the reroll.
So here we go. Here's the reroll. All right. So, it's another late one here. 23.
Ty Beard. Ty, you can pick it up
Oh,
tonight.
Ty Beard. Ty, he always needs more. Ty may already have these. Ty, do you have these books? If not, I can send them to you. Let me know. Let me know if you need more. Let me know if you need more gaming goodness, Ty. Which he might, because he will actually read these. He
Right. And
loves
they
this
can
shit.
sit in his office. They could show up when next time he's on the Ricardo Law live stream. It could be
True.
behind him.
He could chill
Hiding
him. Yeah, that's a good idea. So Ty, contact me if you want these. If not, we can find another home for him. But I don't know if you have them. I know you've got a bunch of our stuff. See, Ty, he kind of took advantage of our goodwill, and he just, whenever we would have a convention, he goes and he grabs everything, and he's gonna have to check see if he has them.
He goes. He showed us all on Friday. Yeah,
I know. We appreciate
it.
it.
Subscriber who gave you a shout out.
We appreciate it.
And we really do appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Before we wrap up and before we give away the last 250, two things I want to touch on real quick. Good news for those of you who apparently are like me. I have been waiting on the Lamentations of the Flame Princess hardcover referee book. We have an update now. It's the update because I don't know. I stirred a little poop and maybe
nice.
But listen.
Oh we do have Lamentations. I'm sorry about that. This is actually not stupid news. This is good news.
This is good news. Here's the thing for those that haven't been following along at home. Last summer, James Raggi was in financial straits with a lot of government loans coming due to the course of 6 figures US, and he pretty much got most of them paid off and out because the community rallied behind him. Many of us, including myself, spent $100 on some of his products. Always great. Thank you, Helen. After the show, I'll look at this stuff and try to get this stuff out to you all. But there was never we didn't know what was happening with the ref book. And the ref book funded, it's almost as long in the tooth as far
It's
away.
been years and years. Yes.
Years. So here's the thing. Last week I brought up, listen, all we want to know is get an update. We don't want to hear about updates on Facebook or updates on social media because we need an update on the Indiegogo page. We finally got it. So after the current 8 books that are coming out, the next up will be the ref book. And do I believe James? I do. I believe he finally got over the hump. It was a bad hump. And, mentally I can understand it. I've said it before. I was the last person you wanted to be your administrative sergeant, taking care of all communications, because I would take stuff that wasn't due right away and put it on the pile of not due right away and then be late because I could miss stuff. So I am very happy to see this is going to move. I wish James a lot of luck. I'm excited.
It's a great blog post. I'd advise everybody to read this just because this is what the life of a small publisher's like. It's tough. And he talks about a lot of the problems he has. I read it. And I felt very sorry for James because it seems to me he needs to sit down. He needs to hire a business manager. He needs to hire a promotions guy and probably a customer relations guy because he's doing all these jobs himself. And it's very hard to do these by yourself. And I felt for the guy. It really seems like he has got a lot of shit going on right now, but the guy puts out quality product. He really does. He puts out quality stuff. Yes, it'd be much easier if he was based in the United States than based in Finland. That's
yes.
A pisser. Yes, it'd be much easier if he had at least one employee, somebody to help him package or to deal with customer service, just something. And yes, it'd probably help a lot better if he had a better business plan because he actually talks in there about how his business plan's kind of all over the place. And he really needs a business manager that says, look, you can do this really well. And you've been doing this really well. Here's what we're going to do going forward, because it just seems to me he's doing a lot of this by the seat of his pants.
Which, works at a certain level, but doesn't continue to work at a later level. Mm-hmm. So,
well, it works when you have a guy like Zach who is writing stuff for you and his stuff's selling like hotcakes and you don't really have to worry about money. That's the situation that Raggi had in the past. Yeah. But obviously now Zach is not writing these killer bestsellers for him. And so he is, he's got a
Right.
little more skin in the game. He's got to be
Now,
careful.
I want to just Sadsar says, look, Hasbro updated 4 times in the past year for Hero Quest, and there's 76 updates on Lamentations. Lamentations more professional. I'm gonna just scroll, and the current update is from September 14th, 2021. Last update was February 28th, 2020, and I think the one before that's the one where he complained about the media demanding an update. Um, Updates on Facebook, and I mentioned this before. I'll be quick on this one. There's a reason why a lot of publishers that run late suddenly start saying things like, "Hey, all updates are going to be on the forums. All updates are going to be on the Facebook page. Go there for the updates. We're only going to update this when it's actual release." And you want to know why? Because you can't delete comments on Indiegogo and Kickstarter. So when somebody trolls you or somebody gets angry and somebody says shit, unless they are being offensive, using offensive language, it stays up there. Whereas somebody does that to you and starts a conversation that you don't want to deal with on Facebook or your own forum, guess what? You delete it. That's why a lot of these publishers are learning that, yes, crowdfunding is great, but if you aren't going to be on time, if you're going to run late in the tooth, you're going to fucking hear about it because people will complain and you can't control it. And if you're somebody who, James has spoken about this, James feels that he needs to talk to a mental health professional. Gareth Sharka has mentioned that he has problems with depression. If you already have these issues, not being able to control the conversation is something that's scary. And that's why they tend to move these conversations away. I'm glad James stepped up because that's what the community needs, and that's what the backers need to support him with his projects going forward.
And you also have to remember that guys like Kevin Crawford, Tom Wilson, who, by the way, I got his beautiful BX book today. Oh, it's just the most gorgeous thing ever. This is just, it's a quality publication. Has all his issues of Back to Basic, including the unpublished final issue. Those guys like that, not everybody can do what they do. And they're just phenoms in this industry. They're great. But, for every guy like that, you have a guy like James or something that maybe, he's not quite as confident and not quite as, James has a lot of imposter syndrome, I find, and he doesn't need to. He created a niche in this hobby, 15 years ago. And I don't think he needs to have this imposter syndrome, but he does. And, not everybody's Kevin Crawford, not everybody's Tom Wilson. There, some people, they struggle with a lot of this stuff, and especially as successful as James has been in the past.
Shadjar says, listen, you can't stop people from making YouTube videos. You are correct. However, when you decide to engage somebody as a creator, if you can't control the conversation that you are starting with an update, it can be scary. So I understand why it happens. I just don't believe it should happen the way it happens.
If Raggy would do Boffo with a YouTube channel. His stuff is basically made for YouTube. He could talk as crazy as he wanted to, as all the stuff. It would be great. And he could just sit there and rant for whatever. And look, there's a lot of people on YouTube that have less entertainment value than James by far. So yeah, a lot of it is, it's just James just having imposter syndrome and being worried about how he's perceived by other people. But, I think my junior psychology degree here, I think James worries too much about what other people think about him. And I think he just needs to say fuck it and just do what he wants to do. I really think that's the best path for James.
Ty needs everything, by the way.
Okay.
Except the mask and the bag.
I'm putting that in there anyway. You give it to one of your wonderful daughters or your beautiful wife, whoever.
Yeah, always mask up your wife. It's safer.
Yeah.
So before we give away the final Lone Star Game Expo. Now here's something. Again, I'm going to make the same complaint. They didn't update their webpage, right? But they updated on Facebook. This went up on the 13th. Yesterday was the 14th. Yesterday, 14th. This was not up on their webpage. So again, making an update on Facebook because you can control the communication. They should be able to control their webpage, but
Right.
I find that the assumption that everybody's on Facebook is a fallacy because my real life friend, one person's on Facebook, everybody else believes
Yeah.
it's the repository of Satan and his legions of hell. Which I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm just saying, come on.
I'm always surprised when people find out about North Texas because I only do updates and comments on Facebook, and I keep forgetting there are people out there that don't use Facebook, and they have to get their news and great stuff through other means. I'll as a little bit of a pull back the curtain. I know the guy that runs Lone Star Game Expo. It's actually down the street from my house. Super nice guys. They have it's a smaller convention. It's about the size of North Texas, about 500 people. They're more general gaming. They're not really old school like we are. But they put on a perfectly fine show. Last time they had 2019, I actually ran a table there. Yeah, they're good dudes. They're good dudes. It's just well, as you can see by the announcement, they had to cancel this year because of issues. And one of the issues being cancellation of people, but also the fact that they're looking for they had a lot of people that were pulling out the last minute that are running games. A lot of them were Adventure League people, and Adventure League is run by mostly fans that do it volunteer. And if they think that there's going to be COVID or something like that, they might not show up. It's tough. But there's other reasons too. That's not the only reason. But yeah, it really stinks. One of these smaller conventions has to call off, and because like Gary Con, it's going to be 2 years now that they've missed a con. Gary Con, they've missed 2 years now. A lot of these cons, for all we know, Total Con may have to miss next year. We don't know yet. It's still too soon to say. But it's always sad to see a small con have to do this kind of thing, because I think that's really. That's one of the people who have benefited, I think, from the COVID are the smaller cons, because they're not their margin of error is much smaller. Like Gen Con, they get 60,000 people. They can't have a con with only 20,000 people there. That does them absolutely no good. But if North Texas Con, if we usually have 500 and we get 300, we can have it. We can have a con. And the same thing with most smaller cons. You can afford to lose a few people and still have a con.
Yeah. It's rough. Now, the question is going to be, of course, going forward. I mean, I'm going to assume Game Hole is going to go off, but is Game Hole going to require masks? It might change between now and then.
Well, Game Hole does require masks.
Game Hole does require masks.
Oh, yes. They said that they're mask, and they are also Game Hole is requiring
Game Hole is vaccines.
Vaccine and masks.
No, I mean, Gary Con wants masks, but no longer a vaccine mandate. I didn't know Game Hole had it.
Oh, no, yeah. Game Hole has a vaccine and a mask mandate, both.
Oh, okay. The mask mandate is new. That was okay.
Yes, they have both. Whereas I think Gary Con so far is just the mask, not the vax. I think. I don't know. Tell me.
I don't know. I know Gen Con is was vaccine mandated, and then they went, oh well, we're going to be required to wear masks, so we don't care about the vaccines now. We just want to wear masks. So it gets confusing.
Interesting. Yeah, it's confusing, and it's tough for people putting cons on, because look, if you require masks, then you're going to get people mad at you. If you don't require them, you get people mad at you. There's virtually no middle ground at this point. You're going to get people mad at you no matter what you do. You're going to get somebody pissed off at you.
Yeah.
So just grin and bear it, folks. You got to choose what side you're going to have to choose whether you feel like people are safe enough without masks, or that no, you're going to have to wear masks to be safe.
No, you're not going to see me doing TikTok for news, because I don't dance. I don't sing much, and certainly not for video. So, oh God. Shall we do the last one, the 250?
Do it. My wife is she's been texting me the whole time. Apparently the power's out at our house. So thank God I'm here at the warehouse.
Yeah.
Because apparently I have power here. But yeah, we better do this before the power. If the power goes out here, then
And then we're
you're going to
out.
be partnerless for the last
Yeah, I'll be like,
10
huh?
minutes.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
All right, so this is for the big money. How many people do
Two
we have?
hundred and fifty
Is it
dollars.
still 29?
Still 29.
All right, 29. I can't believe we didn't have more than 29 people, man. You guys don't. You guys must not like games or anything. I don't know. All right, so it's middle numbers. Let's do it. It is 19. Did we already do 19?
You Ryan again. Ryan got 25. Ryan got 250. Ryan
What?
from
He won the first and he just won the last?
Aqualift Media.
Mother?
Yep.
Is he still here with us? Did he? Maybe he checked out because he
Maybe
won
he checked
25.
out because he
Oh
already won
no!
25.
Say it ain't so, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan's here.
He's here.
Ryan.
Well, you can win twice, so here you go, brother.
Yeah.
You got 200 and you got 25. You got 225. Nice. Yep. Dreams do come true.
It can happen to you. Listen,
can happen to
the
you,
Blazers
yeah.
won 350 last time.
Yeah, they cheated though. They were cheating. Yes. You can. Dreams do come true, and they came true for the beautiful Ryan there. Thank you so much. We all live vicariously through you. Well, last time we did this for 500, everybody was mad at the Glazers because they were not only winning, they were like doing victory dances afterwards. Like everybody's like, dude, that's not fair. You won 200, your wife won another 50. But they donated their money, so that was good. That was good. But Ryan, you don't have to donate anything.
No.
Just go crazy, Ryan, and just get as many old TSR products as you can find, and get some zines, get some lamentations. Although they don't start doing lamentations there, but yeah, just go ahead and get some. I'm going to recommend a few things for you here. I think Back to Basic. Get this if you don't already have it. This is great. This compilation is freaking awesome. It is every issue of Back to Basic, which includes adventures, interviews, monsters. I mean, it's just the coolest thing ever. Cartoons. So that's one of the things I would recommend with your money. Or actually, anybody that won money, I would recommend that. The Back to Basic. Tom Wilson puts out a quality product. He really does.
Tom is amazing.
Yep. And he's going to have a convention this weekend. ShareCon. And so for those of you in the New England area, check out ShareCon.
Yep. All right. So I can see I have at least 4 people who have emailed me, or no, 3. Oh shoot! Only 3 people have emailed me.
Uh-oh. I thought you had everybody there.
I know everybody.
Did my brother email you
after the show? Helen, I've got yours. Your brother, I have his. Ryan, I have yours. I still need Joe Kinlan, Matt Melman.
Ty, you don't have to. Ty, you just have to. I think I have your address, Ty, so you're okay. Ty, I'm gonna mail Ty his package, and I may put in a little extra, Ty. Wink. Somebody, whoever. Yeah, and David Shepard, email me your address so I can set you up with some PDFs.
Okay, now you get a Frank. What's going on? You missed us giving away $525 in drive-through RPG gift certificates. You missed Ryan getting 25 and a 250. So he's walking away with the big bucks.
Wow.
He's the guy you want in Vegas right now playing the slot machines.
I want to keep. I feel good. I want to keep giving away prizes. I mean, did we have? I mean, I could just give. Let me. How about a half-drink bottle of whiskey? How about, let me see. Here's a mask that I used. Here's a bar that I keep for self-defense in the warehouse.
Hey, Mike, you can send somebody my taser.
Yeah, I've tasered the door of my car now. I don't even need your taser because now Texas is open carry for anybody. So I just carry a gun now. I don't need to tase people.
Okay.
I can just plain shoot them. Boom. So I need to get that going. I need to get my gun going here. Well, you know what, people? We thank you all so much. I know this sounds weird, but this is really a big deal for us to get to 1,000. 500 was big too, but it really makes us happy to know people were listening to us and coming out to hang out with us every week because let's face it, when you do these kind of shows, there's a little bit of narcissism involved and a little bit of, hey, we're awesome because people are listening to what we. It amazes me people want to hear what Eric and I say about anything, to be honest with you. I mean, really.
Yeah, well,
because what do we know? But the fact that you do come here every week and the fact that we are at 1,000 subscribers, I think that's just amazing, and it just shows you what a great community we have.
yeah. I mean, listen, I've been kicking these tires in one way or another for a dozen years between the blog and the podcast, and now videos on YouTube, and none of us do it for money. We do it because of your feedback is what is our fuel. It's what we thrive on. So
yeah, we don't do it for money because there's pretty much no money. You don't have to worry about that. So yeah.
But and again, the money that I give away. So this is the community's money. This is from the Drive-Through RPG Now affiliate sales. So if you want to, if you want to pay it forward, when you go to Drive-Through, use my affiliate links. You can find it on the blog at tenkarstavern.com. And, those are the monies that go to do stuff like this. The OSR Christmas is coming up in a few months. We'll have fun doing that on the YouTube channel.
Well, now here's what I want to know. So what's our next big goal? Is it going to be 1,500? Is it 2,000? I mean, we got to shoot for something.
I would say our next big goal will be 2,000, but we're not going to give away another 500. I don't think we're going to have 500 in the Drive-Through account.
Well, 2,000 might take us a long time. We may have 500 by then. You never know. Plus, we're monetizing the channel now. We're going to be just rolling in cash. Pennies a day.
Yes,
pennies a day. It's going to be incredible. So we may have, just all of like $34 by the time we get to 2,000.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we're going to say 2,000.
We're in it for the copy strikes, Chad. We're definitely in it for the copy.
We're going to put 2,000 as our next goal. 2,000 is the next big giveaway. Maybe we'll just give away a lot of prizes. We don't have to give away money. We could give away. We have all kinds of stuff around here. Look. Here's a Pathfinder miniature.
Stop, Mike. Stop.
Oh wait, it's Bowman's. It's Bowman showing his
cock. No, we don't want that.
That's a bad miniature.
We have a question about the pub crawls. Here's the deal. Right now, Jeff Jones. Jeff will be on the show next Wednesday. He's my layout artist. We have Torchlight issue number 1 going to print. That 99.9% chance we will have it at Game Hall. We have a distant chance of maybe getting Swords in Which We Continue a Light digest size edition at Game Hall. Still waiting on some content. We got the cover. You've seen it. If we can have it, we'll have it. If we can't, shortly thereafter. Once that is done and that's put to bed, I can focus on pub crawls and Torchlight.
I have 3 pub crawls ready to go, Eric. So whenever you're ready, I got 3 ready to
go. All it is, it's just a matter of juggling. And as I stated before, and there's a reason why I don't do Kickstarters. If you ever see any of my products as a Kickstarter, it's because somebody else who is organized will be running it. It won't be me. Because I will be my own worst enemy when it comes to that shit. I know me. So thank you, David. It is a beautiful cover. James Shields did amazing work. And I bought full rights to that cover. So it will be on shirts, probably
nice.
on demand.
Very nice.
Will be on like those little hack sacks. Like if you ever see me at a convention, I have the original Swords Which Will Continue Light artwork on a backpack or a sack.
Oh yeah.
I'll be doing that with the new one. It's gonna look really, really good. I'm really excited. And when we do the shirts, it's going to be as damn near to cost as I can get it, while still trying to reimburse myself for the expense of the art. But it wasn't cheap. But my God, it was worth every cent.
Oh yeah.
So,
as a matter of fact, I might have some news about Mr. James Shield, but I got to check with James first about something next year. So we'll see. I got to talk to James first. So we'll see about that.
All right. Well, folks, again, thank you all.
Yes.
This is, again, the currency that we thrive on. And if you can see me glowing, it's the lighting, but it's also, I'm very, very happy and excited. We hit 1,000. And Shad said,
I'm hard as a rock right now. So, Yeah.
That's more information than I needed to know.
Oh, sorry. I thought. Oh,
But
we're
hold
still.
on, hold on
Oh,
a
we're
second.
still on. We're still.
I'm gonna reach over and yep, he is.
Mhm.
All right, sorry, I just had to.
He confirmed it. Yeah.
I confirmed it.
Mhm.
Ugh, jeez.
Sorry.
Ryan, I actually I might once we start getting the pub crawls. Pub crawls are going to be short, 4-page releases that are meant to be printed on 8.5 by 11, so therefore digest size.
Mhm.
I might reach out to you. We'll see.
Great.
If I can't figure out layout by then, which I probably can't. Again,
Nice.
reason why you don't put the stuff into my hands.
Mhm.
I always throw this out there. Remember, we're still in the midst of the world of the pandemic. We mentioned it briefly when it came to the conventions. Please use your common sense. That's all I say. Use your common sense to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones healthy and safe. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Thank you all. No dandelion, no dick pics. Sorry. You don't get that. That's maybe at 5,000. And that would be personal. Jesus. You people are all crazy. Crazy, I tell you. All right. On
Send
that note,
whiskey. Send whiskey.
all right. Yes.
Later.
Slap the like button, folks.
We
Slap
love
the
you.
like button. Slap it like it's Mike's hard head. Oh, God. That actually worked both ways.
I did.
Shit, I
Thank
didn't
you.
mean that.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Later, folks.